Good morning, everybody. This is Ben Thorpe, Associate Editor with Farm Equipment Magazine. Welcome to our latest webinar in conjunction with Visor Pro. So we've got a great discussion lined up here with our three panelists, but before they get started, I just have two things to go over here real quick. So on your screen, you'll see at the bottom, there's a control panel with a Q&A icon. So you can click there to submit questions at any time during the presentation. And then when the guys here are wrapped up at the end, with if we have enough time, we'll get through as many as we can. Additionally, we are recording the webinar and a replay of it will be available on the Farm Equipment website later on. So that was all I had. We got some exciting stuff here. Thank you everybody for joining us. And Rob, you can take it away.
Well, thanks to Lessiter to host this and to Farm Equipment Dealer Magazine. This is great to be able to share with you guys brand new technology and where it's going. My name is Robert Syke. I'm the founder CEO of the AgVisor company, and that's really where we started. Was AgVisor is a platform that links people to people with an algorithm and basically connects those seeking agricultural advice with trusted experts and companies. And in the background, what we began to do is we began to test out AI last year. We ran a pilot project, and then we went full commercial in January the 1st with Visor Pro into the farm equipment dealer space. So with us today, we have Wally Butler, and Wally is with the Mazor Group. And hey, Wally, what's going on, man? Wally is Vice President and CFO and experiencing his year end and still took the time out to be with us. Tell us a little bit about Wally Butler.
Well, thanks, Robert, and thanks for having me join you guys today. I've been in the business for 26 years with Bob Mazor and crew. Joined in '97. My dad started out farming and then ended up becoming a school teacher. But I joined and moved to Brandon in '97. At that time, we had just become a 4-store operation. Now we're up to 18 stores in Manitoba and Saskatchewan. Chartered accountant by training, and just love everything we do. Love the ag business. Love what we do here at Mazor Group, and extremely excited about the opportunities we're seeing with Visor Pro.
Yeah, we had a really good chat at the Agriculture Manufacturers Canada conference in Regina. You were pumped, and John was pumped up. And with us also we have Brock Moyer. Brock is our Chief Product Officer with Visor Pro, and Brock's got a pretty extensive background in physics and data science and AI. Brock, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, for sure. So my background, as Rob said, I'm a pretty technical guy. I've been with the AgVisor Pro Group for about 4.5 years now. And that's most of my exposure to agriculture. With the Visor Pro now, we've been at it for almost a year, and that's our exposure to the heavy equipment industry. But as Rob was saying, my background, I have a master's in physics, studying the Large Hadron Collider collisions in Geneva, Switzerland. Prior to joining this group, I was at the Alberta Machine Intelligence Institute, which is one of the top 5 research organizations in the world for AI research. And over there, I was helping them accelerate AI adoption across industry in Western Canada. And now here at AgVisor Pro, I lead up the product development, our AI initiatives especially, as well as the design group, the development group, and the product management group.
All right. And so Brock is going to be filling us in towards the end. We're going to go myself a little bit at the top here, and then we're going to talk a lot about Mazor Group and where they're headed and how Visor Pro is going to help them do better things for their farmers. And then Brock is going to show us a demo and wind it all up. I wanted to just mention that Brock is also featured in the North American Equipment Dealers Association, the NAIDA magazine. He wrote an article about large language models, or AI, and how it was going to influence the agricultural sector. So if you're an equipment dealer and you're a member of NAIDA, you can look forward to that article that's coming out. The last last 3 days, I've been attending a webinar, a seminar called Abundance 360 that's hosted annually by Peter Diamandis, bringing together some of the top technology leaders in the area of robotics and flying cars and medicine and AI. This particular theme of this is my 10th time. The theme of this was the Great AI Debate. And The people on stage included Peter Diamandis. Elon Musk was tapping into us from his plane using X video and Starlink. Ray Kurzweil was there, and if you guys ever seen the Kurzweil music synthesizer or text text scanning, that's all Ray. And Eric Schmidt, former CEO of Google, was just some of the people. And the thing that struck me about AI is how fast it's moving. I think that AI, for the most part in agriculture, will be augmenting the intelligence of the agriculture. But one of the quotes that resonated with me is that AI is moving us forward at the double pace of acceleration. So in other words, everything that we're thinking about with AI is actually moving a lot faster. We started to play with AI in late last or early last year and did a pilot from June to December, and then went fully commercial. So Visor Pro AI is completely dealer ready, and we are in fact onboarding Mazer Group, Young's Equipment, Torgeson's, and this week we're onboarding Burnups of Michigan and Indiana. So we're really excited to be doing that. And as I mentioned, Brock at the end will be doing a demo and showing you some of the key advantages we have. So with that all kind of as a background, I wanted to talk about Mazer Group and a little bit about the history of Mazer Group. You guys have grown, Wally, into Canada's largest New Holland dealerships. You're an advanced dealership, and we'll talk a little bit about why Visor Pro in a bit. But let's start off with Mazer Group, your philosophy, what it is you're doing, your footprint. Let's learn a little bit about your dealership.
Sure. Thanks, Rob. Like I said earlier, Mazer Group was started. Bob Mazer, our commander-in-chief and patriarch, his dad started in 1959 in Brandon, Manitoba. And then through a little bit of expansion, really joining on stores that looking at resources and how we can band together to provide a bigger, better product for really the ag producer, primarily the ag producer. And that trend has really continued from 1994 in the first expansion right through till just a few years ago, where some stores in Raymore, Yorkton, and Watrous joined Mazer Group. And really the underlying concept of the whole expansion was to try to be better together, to band together, to try to be able to provide better solutions for our customers, to be able to use our internal knowledge, to be able to help each other out, and efficiencies and economies. And that's really the drive factor. There was no master plan that it was going to look like this. But that's kind of just the evolution of how we got to where we're at. And I just add, sorry, Rob, just add, really in 2009 was when we really became the organization that we know of today. Before that, we were in more independent operations. And then in 2009, we felt we took that independent operation model. Each of us had different names, local owner managers, and we really created Mazer Group as it's known today to try to work on all our synergies and our economies. We are still a local owner manager driven business, but that's how we got to where we're at today.
Back in the days when I was running AgriTrend, that was a company I founded in 97. You mentioned the year 97. That was the year we founded AgriTrend, and much the same situation where we had our agri coaches and market coaches working with farmers directly, but kind of under a brand and under some systems. And you guys have systematized a lot at Mazer Group, correct?
Yeah, that's totally correct. When we were first, if it went through the evolution of Mazer Group, it was independent store. Let's not fight against each other. And then we got to more, let's do some things the same way. We almost moved, say, in the early 2000s to kind of a franchise type operation, while still maintaining the local owner, local feel. And then really in 2009, that's when we took the big step to formalize what we really are, and really trying to drive toward the synergies. We are organized by function, not by location. So we think that's working well for us. And that's the steps of how we got here.
Well, I don't know you that well. You and I have met each other on several occasions, but I know that this webinar thing is outside of your comfort zone. This is not something that Wally Butler routinely does, but you've agreed to do it. And I'm interested in why. Why did you choose to come on this webinar, put yourself out there, agree to talk about something that you guys are doing that could give you an edge, but you're serious about sharing some of what we're working on with Visor Pro with the broader community?
Yeah, that's spot on, Robert. I like to be in the background, so
Yep.
this is different for me for sure. And I would say I was reluctant to participate, mainly because of what I think this is going to be as a real competitive advantage for Mazer Group, for all the reasons we'll probably talk about in a bit. But the real bigger reason I think why I ended up saying I try to be here was as an industry, the better we can be, the better we can provide tools to our staff and our people. As an industry, I think we will be better as an industry.
Yeah.
And so certainly the more that we get engaged, as we talk about with Visor Pro, I think everything becomes better.
Yeah. Well, flash back to April, May, June last year. June, you guys came on as a pilot with us. I mean, that was a very big step for you, but there was something that you saw in terms of the direction of AI. And this wasn't a scripted question here, but what is it that intrigues you, or what is it that tantalizes or creates that we have to pay attention to this movement that's going on right now?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think as soon as we saw some of the intro pieces, we walked away thinking this was going to be a game changer and a tool to provide customer care and to help our primarily technicians at this point, but help our technicians do their job better, faster, stronger. So it was really, it didn't take much to get down to the point of, okay, there's something here. Yeah. And how can we make it work to the best? So it didn't take much.
Yeah. When we rolled out, still today, Visor Pro is dealer centric. So we're really, really concentrating on what's good for Mazer Group and listening to, even this week, we had discovery sessions with your staff. We're colorblind and we're short line friendly. So those are some of the things that some of the tenants, although primarily we're focused on right now, very, very close to red and blue dealerships from the standpoint of who we're bringing on right now. Now, the challenges that the farm equipment dealership, and if you look at the NAIDA, again, the numbers, the challenges with attracting, retaining people in this industry, this farm equipment dealership industry, I could go to construction as well, is an acute problem. And what are you seeing as the challenge for the industry, and then maybe some of the challenges for Mazer Group as well, in terms of people and technical support, et cetera?
Yeah, I think the industry, we are certainly challenged, as are a lot of other industries. I think as an ag distributor, we are challenged a bit more because we have many small rural locations. A lot of the times, ag dealers in small towns in rural Western Canada or mid Northwest or anywhere really can be the biggest employer in town. And so that ends up to be a challenge to attract new people to rural centers. That's one challenge. The other challenge is certainly from a technology standpoint, the rapid advancement of machines, equipment, the ability to support the equipment, that we have to find better tools to get all of our technicians and keep our technicians up to speed on what those abilities are. It was interesting. I was just checking out some stuff. It used to be, uh, we sold a lot of pieces of equipment that were far less capable, but we sold a lot. I think way back when, I think in Brandon alone at one point, we sold 25 windrowers a year.
Yeah.
And so I was just looking at some industry numbers. In our footprint, there were 13 sold in the whole entire Mazer Group footprint in 2023. So we are challenged also with a volume of equipment and the ability to support that equipment being so technical that we just don't have our hands on all of them every day. So anything we can do to help our technicians find information more quickly, more readily, to get things done more quickly is definitely helping. We as Mazer Group focus on our certainly on our rural operations and the teamwork that we have at rural stores, local decision making, local customer support at the local store level, and we our goal is to arm our stores with all they need to take care of customers. And so anytime we can reduce the number of books on a shelf, the number of manuals back in a vault, back in the back room by the coveralls, and enable people to find information more quickly, helps us get people up to speed, and it's easier to retain people.
I was in your Brandon store not too long ago. I went to the back there, and that's quite a footprint of space that you've got devoted at the dealership to racks and racks and racks and racks of operator and service manuals, and let alone just New Holland, but then you got all the shortliners as well out there. So, hey, Brock, I'm going to bring you in just briefly here. You're talking to these dealerships, and what are some of the pinch points you see with respect to attracting and retaining people in the industry, just from what you've heard from working with the dealership so far? What have you heard?
Yeah, I mean, what Wally's saying is pretty common in a lot of dealerships. Some of our partners and some of the folks that I've talked to, and I've been speaking to kind of a broad cross section of the industry now. They're attracting people from different countries, different geographies. So Naida, for example, did a trip to South America, I think it was, to try to find.
It was Poland just a little while ago.
Right, Poland. Sorry, to find some technicians, and other dealers are bringing people in from other industries. They're hiring people from automotive, they're hiring people from trucking, wherever. And those people aren't well enough equipped to deal with some of the farm equipment issues that we see, or some of the heavy equipment issues that we're seeing. To Wally's point, the technology on these things is getting pretty advanced at this point, and getting people up to speed and being able to service that is really a challenge. This is a hard thing to get people up to that level. So yeah, there's definitely the retention, the recruitment angle is really a struggle for the industry.
Wally, when we're all aware of this. In season, your technicians, especially your more seasoned technicians, work-life balance goes out the window. I mean, it's just like you're on 24/7. A lot of industries don't understand the pressure point of a farmer trying to get that crop in the ground in a 20-day window. Talk a little bit about work-life balance, and talk a little bit about how we need to leverage, whether it's Visor Pro, whatever technology, but we got to leverage the technology to create a little bit more work-life balance, and then to try to bring on some young people in these smaller towns that are supported by the more silver hair in your organization.
Yeah, agreed. One of the ways to help that work-life balance is to do more in less time. Mm-hmm. And so if we can increase our throughput, get customers back up and running more quickly, or get our internal work done more quickly because we're spending less time on the diagnostic or trying to solve problems or trying to get information, then we're thinking this is a real key to improving the work-life balance. Certainly, it won't be forefront if somebody breaks down combining or seeding at 11 o'clock on Friday. But the more we can do to help out the weekdays, then I think it just helps out that work-life balance.
How are you finding talent? I mean, this is I don't know if you've got any secrets, but how hard is it, and how are you finding talent?
Mazer Group's very fortunate because Karen, our VP of People and Culture, and Courtney, our recruiter, that full time looking for people.
Wow.
And we're really turning over every rock trying to find people. And as Brock said earlier, it kind of used to be, okay, somebody's retiring from farming or a farm kid, maybe they want to do this, but it's everywhere, whether it's automotive, other industries. We have a few former military people that are looking to exit out of the military, all over, all places, all things. And so the more we can do to make that transition easier, as Brock said, the more we can do to help the transition and provide tools that make everybody as productive as they want to be and can be, is one of the ways we're attracting people. Then it becomes just a dang good place to work. And our mission.
I was going to go to that about the Mazer culture, because you guys pretty unique in terms of how you're building that culture. You know, how do you do it, and that goes a long way to retention.
I think so. We have many small stores, so even though we have lots of locations, some are relatively small, but everybody tries to work on the Mazer Group team and be part of the team. The crew here, I work in the Winnipeg office, and the crew here organized a breakfast tomorrow morning, like a staff breakfast. So I've got to cook pancakes, by the way.
Right in the middle of year end.
Yeah, so I've got to cook pancakes tomorrow morning. So if you're around, drop by for pancakes. But I think it's those types of things that help build that teamwork and really take some of the load off those pressure moments. But really, we're looking for people all over. We did go to Poland. Karen and Courtney did go to Poland. And we're trying to find people from wherever we can.
Yeah. The couple of things about Visor Pro that I wanted to mention. One is that it's available to the entire Mazer organization. So once you signed up with us, I mean, the primary users will be service and technicians. We get that. But everybody in the organization. So you bring in some new people and they want to use Visor Pro as a learning tool. Brock has already seen that is happening, and hopefully we'll be able to contribute to the next question, which is institutional knowledge. How are you? And I know that Visor Pro is going to play a role here in building the Mazer brain, the Mazer dealer brain. But how do you hold on to institutional knowledge right now in the company? How did you do it before Visor Pro, and how are you hoping to do it after Visor Pro?
Yeah, great question. And just before I answer that, it's so interesting when you mentioned Visor Pro is available to all staff. It's kind of a rooftop thing and available to all staff. We're now seeing parts people that are starting to hear and get thinking about this, because you can just imagine. And parts people we've got the same thing about new parts people to us and new to industry. And learning our industry. So a customer walks up to the counters, you want to buy some oil or hydraulic fluid. Yeah, how much does my machine take? So it's
what's the change interval, the capacity, and the type of oil for my differential, and they can put that into Visor Pro and look like a genius.
Right. So certainly some of our gray-haired people might have that at the top of their head because they just know from experience. And can provide that level of customer care, but many of our people just don't have that level of experience yet. And so to have the tool to be able to answer and give really good, knowledgeable responses to customers helps us immensely. So I think that all of those are pieces ultimately for retention as well.
Well, I think, and when you're starting to bring AI into the Mazer group as an experience for your young people are going right on. You guys are leading edge. I mean, so let's talk a little bit about capturing institutional knowledge. Maybe we should start with the state of the art in the industry. How do you think the industry and the holds on to institutional knowledge, and without giving any Mazer group secrets away, what are some of the maybe things that you do to try to hold on to institutional knowledge? And we do have a problem, and a lot of the really senior guys are approaching retirement. When they walk out the door, that's an encyclopedia leaving the Mazer group. That hurts. So comments on those things.
Yeah, absolutely. We've been extremely fortunate in Mazer Group, and maybe it's the rural nature, and maybe it's the gray hair kind of work ethics sort of place. But we've been very fortunate because many of our gray hairs are still coming to work and like to come to work, and we kind of reduce some workload a little bit off some of the more gray hair guys, and girls, but they've certainly have that knowledge and trying to mentor our existing crew on passing that knowledge on. So it's really a combination approach. It's a combination of what do we have, what can we show, what can we mentor, and then ultimately what information can we get more quickly using tools and other methods.
So Brock, one of the things that we do with Visor Pro is we build a vault, a Mazer dealer vault that's exclusive to them. And then on our roadmap is the building of the dealer brain. I know it's a little bit unscripted, but I thought it fit good in here. Just some of your vision as to how that eventually will build the Mazer Group institutional knowledge.
Yeah, for sure. We're going to talk about this in a little bit too, but the way I think about what we're building is it's really a knowledge assistant for the equipment dealerships, and it fits really well in the service department. It'll fit in the parts department and in other parts of the dealership as well. Right now we're very focused on that service side. Today we've loaded up OEM manuals. That's a really good starting place for this thing. But I've been talking to our partners, and Mazer Group's one of them. They have already all kinds of institutional knowledge that's just kind of sitting there and not really being leveraged as much as it could. An example of this is in their work order system. If they have stories in there, they have labor hours in there, they have parts in there. Those are all really important when you're looking at a new problem. That's an area that we definitely want to bring into Visor Pro. There's also technician notes, and this could go to a product specialist in Mazer Group or another one of our partners where they know some of the problems that are common. They're writing them down, they're training their people. They can put stuff like that into Visor Pro, and I see an opportunity to help them as well identify some of these common issues, right? Like, here are, after the season, the 10, 20 questions, whatever they are, however many they are, that keep getting asked and don't have answers, right? Or don't have context to it, or you can't find answers to it. How can we help them identify those and then backfill that understanding? So, the next time the technician comes by and says, "Hey, I'm working on this thing. What do I do?" The system is now giving them, here's a work order, here's a piece from the service manual, and here's one of our product specialists talking about, the unique situation for Manitoba's conditions, right? Because the conditions are different depending on where you are and what you're growing and stuff like that. So, there's a lot of opportunities in where we're going to really build this institutional knowledge for our partners. And a lot of it is kind of in front of us right now, and I'm pretty excited to get there with the partners that we have.
At the Agriculture Manufacturers Canada meeting in Regina, Wally, John was on stage there as one of the dealers, and that was in front of an audience of OEMs. And I think about OEMs. I not only think about New Holland, but I think about the other, the Bourgaults, and we were loading into your vault right now some, precision ag information to help on the precision ag side, like Trimble, Raven, etc. What's your relationship like with the OEMs, and how do you hope that the OEMs will cooperate or adapt or leverage the upcoming AI that we're bringing to the stage right now? How is that relationship between Mesa Group and OEMs, and what do you see going forward?
Yeah, we certainly have great relationships. Our primary product is in New Holland, so we have great relationships. We view it as a partnership with New Holland. Um, all of our other partners are fantastic to deal with as well. I think some of the short line people don't have quite the support mechanisms or availability as, say, the main line OEMs. So anything, once again, we can do to retain and make it easier for our crew to look after products will benefit us. One of the interesting parts, and we'll have to see where this goes, is how far and fast OEMs get in the game, and we're actually hoping the OEMs kind of stay a little bit out of the game, because we like the fact that Visor Pro Vault is a vault for all things. So
Yeah.
we like the fact that it's brand agnostic, and we can get everything that we're working on, everything we have in one vault, and not have to worry about using manufacturer portals. So anytime we're talking to the guys at New Holland or others, we're saying, hey, I think we've got this covered. So help us by facilitating the connection to Visor Pro.
Yep.
And then it'll make everybody faster, stronger.
Well, this is really a point I'm trying to get across to the market as well. If you're an OEM manufacturer of an air drill in Canada or the United States, or like a planter, a corn planter or a precision ag manufacturer, then we can build a Visor Vault for you and then connect that right directly to the Mesa Group. Nothing frustrates technical people more than having to face 10 logins in a day to get information from 10 different portals. And Visor Pro is one portal where you can access your main line and your short lines. Like I said, kind of colorblind. Short lines. Do you've got? I'm going to ask a question. How many short lines do you handle? I think it's a lot.
Yeah, the simple answer is a lot, and so we certainly like all the short line partnerships we have. There's fantastic, unique short lines, and mainly manufacturers in Western Canada. And so it's so interesting being primary producer Western Canada, somewhat based, is there's world leaders in agriculture in Western Canada, which often takes us somewhat by surprise when we maybe talk to other people in other parts of the world. And so we get kind of reminded about that periodically when our primary producers are trying to do something, want something, create something, build something, and that's often how it happens. And we try to walk alongside them. So we love our short lines. We try to do as much as we can and supplement our New Holland product offering, which certainly isn't as, say, has a wide breadth as maybe some other main lines.
But it generally has a great utility and is generally compressed in the time frame. I spoke at an air seeder manufacturer in Regina just 10 days ago, and they have excellent support. They have really, really good support, but a limited number of people. And again, going into their portal is structured different than another portal. So your people at Mesa Group are constantly looking at trying to figure out how to navigate, find the right information. Again, Visor Pro is that one portal for all access to all mainline, short line equipment. So let's shift it a little bit to service, and I just mentioned service, and how do you look at it? Cost center, it is a profit center, cost center, but my God, the pressure it puts on your organization in a compressed period of time. I don't think many people around the world understand how tight Canada is for getting things in the ground and out of the ground in such a short period of time. So how do you what's your service philosophy, Wally?
Mhm. Certainly, Mazer Group views our service department as a profit center.
Mhm.
We really have the three departments: whole goods, parts, and service. So it's kind of the whole goods guys will sell the first one, and then parts and service sell the rest, the
Yeah.
repeated business, and all that uptime and keeping customers going. We've done what we can. Certainly, the industry has as Maze Group to try to chop the top of the peak mountain and throw it into the hollows of winter to try to level out a little bit of our service work. But certainly, we view it as a profit center, and we view labor as inventory that if you don't use it, it's gone. Different than a whole good out on the lot or a part on the shelf. So it's everything we can do to try to become more efficient and effective in the service department.
Yeah, when January 1 hits, Mazer Group is effectively sitting on hundreds of thousands of hours of inventory and millions of dollars that you've committed to. And your job is to try to use that as efficiently as possible. So, one of the things I wanted to share a vision with for the listeners to this is that Visor Pro not only is there for Service Sam. So when Farmer Fred calls Service Sam, instead of spending 20, 30 minutes getting back to Farmer Fred, can punch it into Visor Pro and answer the question now. But also for Technician Terry at the back, who's working on work orders and spending a lot of time searching for the right specifications on these work orders. Visor Pro is going to help them a lot. Absorption rate. Talk a little bit about absorption rate and how you think Visor Pro might be able to impact that. Maybe I've led into it a little bit.
Yeah. And just to build on the comment you made just earlier, we as an industry have been trying to move to, in the service department in particular, some flat rate sort of job structures. So customers know if you want this done, it's kind of this rate. So anything we can do to speed that up, as you alluded to, by reducing the diagnostic time or the how-to time to get the work actually done, means we can have more shop throughput and then help that work-life balance. So
Yeah.
It all kind of feeds on itself for sure. Absorption in its simplest form is just the ability for parts and service margins to pay the cost of the dealership. Why are we really working on that? Well, the whole good side of the business can have some challenges. If it doesn't rain, if it rains too much, if commodity prices, and so certainly there can be days when it's a little more struggle. So it's really trying to have that security blanket by having incredibly strong parts and service business, that if something were to go sideways, then we've got parts and service will get us through the rough patch. So that, yeah,
it's a really important part of your business.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, so we're going to shift over to Brock a little bit here. And so again, just to kind of repeat, so the way that Visor Pro works is we set up or we'll work with the dealership and set up a proprietary and exclusive, a secure Visor vault for Mazer Group, and we'll load in their operators, service, short line, mainline manuals, technical manuals. And Brock is going to walk us through the process of how we're thinking of building unique solutions for dealerships. I may punch back to Wally once in a while to comment, but we are actively bringing those dealerships on board and have room to bring a number of dealerships on for springtime. So there's still time to work with us. Brock, take us away on how you are thinking, and how Visor Pro is thinking about building unique solutions for the equipment dealerships.
Yeah. So, at the end of the day, Visor Pro is a product company. We're building a product, and a product really is a solution to a customer's problems. And in our case, the customers that we're really focused on are the equipment dealerships. They have all kinds of challenges to service the equipment that they have to service, to do all the things that they do in their service department, their parts department. It's not easy for them. And we've seen opportunity there. And so our goal is to stay ruthlessly focused on our customers and build solutions that they love. And we're leveraging AI to do that. It's a part
So
of the
Brock, just a
I'm an AI
second.
person.
Brock. AI, when I was growing up, was artificial insemination, but now this whole AI thing. So talk a little bit about how fast this AI technology is hitting us. The
Yeah.
impact.
So, Chat GPT, which is, the hot topic from 2023, didn't exist prior to 2023. Like, I think they launched it in November 2022. Now it's to the point where it can generate images for you. You can have conversations with it about anything, and it's human level expertise in a lot of subject matter. And that's like after the last kind of year of development. The reality is this technology is advancing insanely fast, like faster than we've seen a lot of other technologies come out. It's going to impact a lot of things. And if you're not thinking about how it's going to impact your industry or your business today, you are at risk of being left behind. And, there's a lot of solution providers out there. There's a lot of product companies like us building solutions that are powered by AI. And that's a really great way for business owners to adopt it. It's hard to build stuff. It's expensive to build stuff. If you can find solution providers who are building great things already, that's really a great solution to not being left behind by the AI coming out.
The opportunity cost of sitting on the sideline as this thing moves forward is pretty high.
Absolutely, I would agree with that.
Yeah. Right. So talk a little bit about Visor Pro. What is it? How does it enable Maser Group to take advantage of this new technology?
Yeah, I mean, Visor Pro, what we're really doing is, as I said, it's that knowledge assistant. We're helping technicians, service advisors, service managers, whoever it is in the dealership, find information as fast as we can, get it in front of them, find context about problems. It might not always give you, this is the answer to that question that you gave me, but it will almost always give you, or our goal is to make sure it almost always gives you context for the problem. Here's a note from our product specialist, here's a work order, here's a piece from the service manual, whatever it is. Like, our goal is really to get you that context so that you can get up and running, you can get more work orders done, you can spend less time doing research, and your technicians can spend more time turning wrenches, which is what they're great at.
Cool. So what is it? What kind of data can be stored inside the Maser Vault or the Dealer Vault? What kind of data can we extract and store?
So what the new wave of AI, these large language models, this generative text AI enables is you can take any kind of text and search over it through kind of semantically in terms of meaning, and use that as a basis to generate answers and stuff like that. And that's kind of how Visor Pro is working. Right now we've really focused on the OEM manuals. That's just kind of our starting place. In the future, we see video transcripts being put into this thing. So now you can find videos of, here's a how-to on how to do this complicated procedure. Maybe your product specialists are making that, or maybe your short lines have some great videos already. We see discussion threads as a part of this, whether that's internal or external. You already have email threads going on in your organization in a lot of cases. We see work orders as a big part of this. And then, the ability for dealers to kind of backfill and add and generate, their own kind of knowledge articles and their own kind of information from their product specialists, from the understanding that they have and what they know about what's going on. So, the answer is, if it's language-based, if it's text-based, that's a potential source of information for this kind of thing.
And it could be multimodal in the future. So like Wally, the value, this is a key tenet to what we're building. The value that we're creating with Visor Pro, the more you as Maser Group use it, the more value you're going to extract from it. To heck with everybody else. This is about the value you can create. Is that what you're seeing? And that's what you hope?
Yeah, that's exactly what we're seeing. So if we can band together, we have just north of about 150 technicians within our organization.
Yeah.
We've got locations that are 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 technicians. And as I said, if the whole territory only sells this year 13 windrowers, it's difficult for one person in one store to become the expert. But certainly within our footprint, by having readily available knowledge for everybody to share and to glean information from, will just it will enable us to have better customer care and certainly become way more efficient.
So, you use it to extract some information about a MacDon header, and you look at that and say, oh, that's what MacDon says, but you should also do this. That's, if we can capture that, you should also do this in the Mazer Vault. That's pure gold, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So Brock, let's turn it over to you. We're going to do a demo of what we're working on here. So Brock is going to share a live demo, and we're going to have a couple wind-up slides here. Maybe there's a question or two. We're down to the 14 minutes left in the, and so we're in the Mazer Group vault right now. And Brock, take it away.
Yeah, sorry, Wally. I borrowed your guys' environment here for the demo, but this will give a pretty good idea of kind of where it's at and how it's working. So behind the scenes here, we're really focused on getting Mazer Group up and running for the spring. So we got some sprayers in here, we got some seeders in here, there's some tractors in here, and some precision equipment amongst other things. I'm just going to run through a couple questions just to give you an idea of kind of what it's doing here. So start, I'm going to ask it some Viper 4 questions. My product manager used to be a floater operator. He loved the Viper 4, so he came up with some kind of questions here to get us going. But how to set an AB line, kind of an easy one, but kind of an important one. And so what I'm doing here, I asked the question. First of all, I selected the specific piece of product that I want, the Raven Viper 4. I'm asking a question, how do I set the AB line? Now it's asking me which manual I actually want to use. It could be in the operator's manual, the service manual. In this case, the Viper 4 only has the operator's manual and the install manual. So I'm going to take the basic operations manual. And what's going to happen in the background here? So the system takes the document that I've given it, the question that I've given it, and it finds specifically what section in that manual it should be. Does a little bit of analysis here on my question and the documents that it got, and then it's going to give me an answer. So here's a step-by-step how to set an AB line in the Viper 4. Now, a lot of the time you need a diagram, you need a table, whatever. In this manual, this is probably like a 200-page manual. It's not crazy. But in a service manual, it could be 5,000 pages. Like, these things are huge. In order to download that could take you 5 minutes. We're just rendering it here in the app. It loads real fast. We also put some titles on the sections here, so you can tell guidance system operation AB line setup. That's going to cover it. And if I scroll a little bit here, set a straight AB line. There you go. Those are my steps. I was able to pick that out pretty quickly there. I was asking one more question about the Viper, and then I'll go on to another piece of equipment. So how do I configure the home screen? This is, you got your widgets, maybe you want to put your fan speed on there or something else. So again, it does the same thing. I selected the manual there. I have my equipment that I want to ask it about, and it's doing my question and content analysis. And then here's the answer. And now, a question like this, I need the kind of input from the diagrams. I can click on the reference here, guidance screen and widget configuration, and there you go. There's how to configure it. Now I can see some of the diagrams here. That's one example from just the Raven side. I'll ask it some questions on some New Holland equipment here. So let's go New Holland. I'll ask it about this 310 sprayer. This is a front boom self-propelled sprayer. And I'm just going to ask it about changing the fuel filter. Now, sometimes I'm not sure if it's in the operator's manual or service manual. I think the fuel filter change should be in the service manual. For this piece, I think it's actually in the operator's manual. We'll see what it does here. So there we go. It couldn't answer it because it was in the service manual. So I'm just going to switch to the operator's manual. I could keep them both there because it couldn't find it, but that's okay. Bring it into the operator's manual here, and there you go. I was able to find it real fast. So on this piece of equipment, there's 2 fuel filters. There's the primary and the secondary. I didn't specify which one, but this was able to pull out, there's 2. And so it gives me an answer for how to change the primary and then the secondary. And again, pulls out the information or the references here. So in this case, it's in the maintenance section about changing the oil and the fuel filter. This is the first 100 hours of maintenance. And if I scroll down here a little bit, primary and secondary fuel filter replacement. And there you go. Again, if I need the diagrams, if I need to see where these things are, it's right there. We made it really easy to view these documents. If you ever need the full document, you can obviously download it still. That's available. And then, there's, we built ways to give us feedback on things in here. But really, what I'm showing you here at the end of the day, this thing's up and running. It's got hundreds, thousands of pieces of equipment in here. And, you can ask it questions and get answers right away. Like this is
so the feedback mechanism at the bottom,
time.
Brock, just show the feedback mechanism because this loops back into making their vault stronger over time.
Yeah. So as we go, your people are using this. If they get a great answer, letting us know if it's great or not so great, and giving a little bit more feedback helps us evolve the product, helps us evolve the system, and helps it to learn kind of beyond where it is right now. So I'll end the demo there. I think that's
there's a copy function too, Brock. Just mention that.
Yeah, I mean, you can copy and paste things and put it into wherever you need to put it to share with folks. Rob, I think I'm gonna move on to the slides here just because we're getting crunched on time.
And we have 4 slides to wrap up, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So Wally, this is your people are inside of this right now.
Yeah. Well, the interesting part, not to derail the slideshow, every time I see this, and the more you get deep, then my mind just continues to go, okay, where else can, that's just yeah, it's phenomenal. Yeah.
It does a really great job of pulling out specific information, pulling out, troubleshooting procedures, all the kind of stuff that you want to get out of a service manual or an operator's manual. Real time, we're seeing it being used right now with our partners, and we've gotten a lot of positive feedback on how this thing is going. So excited to keep building it and making it better than it already is. Okay, I'm just going to go through a couple bit of a presentation here, but this is a good wrap up. So as I said before in this presentation, what we're really building is these knowledge assistants for the equipment service department. Sure, it'll go into parts. Sure, it'll go into the whole good side. Eventually, it'll take over the whole dealership, and everyone can use it. We're really focused on that service side, just because of what we've identified as the challenges. Not going to spend too much time on this. Wally already articulated the challenges in the industry really, really well. We see the same thing. These things are really important to the equipment dealerships that we're working with and that we're talking to. All of these points are really big challenges in this industry, and we think Visor Pro addresses a lot of them. Like it helps immensely with training, with retention, with that knowledge retention, utilizing your service team. And at the end of the day, you have happier technicians, you're getting a little bit more equipment through, your customers are going to be more happy. They're going to see that your technicians are happier. They're going to see that they're getting their equipment solved faster, and at the end of the day, they're going to be happier with you. They're going to see that you've elevated your level of customer care. And that's a big deal when it comes to whole good sale. That's a big deal when it comes to the next service appointment that they're going to make. In terms of where we're going, where we are today, so we're really focused on helping your team find answers and create context for any problem that they come across. This, at the end of the day, as we continue to build, will include things like the mainline manuals, the short line manuals, the work orders, your discussion threads, technician notes, how-to videos. It goes beyond this. This is just kind of the ideas that are bubbling up right now, but there's all kinds of areas that we'll get into with this. And as long as we keep going in this direction, we really want any problem we can find context for. Any piece of equipment that you're working on, any problem, you pouch it into Visor Pro, and we want to be able to provide you with something that'll get you going. Might not always be the answer, but it'll always be something that'll get you unstuck or get you going on it. And we're focused on the dealerships. The dealerships are our partners. We're not focused on putting this in front of farmers. That's not really our objective here. We really want to make the service team in your dealership, the parts team in your dealership, we want to elevate them so that you can elevate the level of customer care that you're providing to your customers. We think that's really important. That's really, really valuable for you guys, and it's really important for us as we continue in the future. So where we're at today, really focused on these OEM manuals. So we're building the one document portal. It's really easy to use, as I just showed you. And it's really fast. We say 10 times faster here. I don't know what the quantifiable measure of speed is on this thing, but it's fast. It's really fast to find information in this thing. Tomorrow, where we're going with this, building that institutional knowledge is the focus. We're going to integrate into work order systems. We're going to pull knowledge out of senior technicians' heads. We're going to do a lot of that this year. By the end of this year, we're going to be most of the way there. And, we can move very quickly on this. This is something that we as a company are very good at, is moving quickly with technology in an intentional way. In the future, where we really see this going, building this institutional knowledge for equipment dealerships, there will be interesting ways that we can help them monetize that. An example of this is, here's a tier 0 support line that now your customers can call, and it's talking to an AI. Whenever it needs to escalate something, it will. If it can answer basic things, it will. Now, you've given your customers a tool to solve a bunch of problems that they're bringing to you. You're looking like a superhero because it's solving a bunch of problems for your customers. And when it's having a hard time, it's bringing that back to your service team and actually getting them, that elevated level of care that they need. That's just one idea. This is, again, the future of this. This is beyond next year where we go. There's going to be all kinds of opportunities for how we can help you monetize this sort of stuff. In terms of the ROI, I'm just going to go through this real fast. We already said, research time, we're going to cut that down. That's a big one. Improving the team satisfaction. This is actually really important when you think about retention and training and all that stuff. We can impact that. We can help train. We can help, people feel like that load is being shifted into an area where now it's not so busy. There's things that we can do to help with that. At the end of the day, you're finding things faster, you're doing that research quicker, you will see an increase in your work order throughput. And that impacts the margins in your service department. And, the combination of these three things, I already talked about this, it'll elevate your level of customer care. Your customers will be happier with you because your technicians are happier, they're getting stuff done faster, they're helping farmers more than they currently are. All this, when you look at the cost of Visor Pro and what we're doing, it works out to about $0.75 an hour to an hour a month per technician that you need to charge out additionally. That's the cost of Visor Pro. We think this is achievable to achieve that ROI. For any dealer that's really interested in this, book a call with us. We'll figure out the pricing for you that'll work for you. Right now, we've launched for the spring with our 4 partners. We have a limited capacity for how many partners we can take on today, just because of where we're at in the technology. We want to work with forward-thinking dealer principals that see the value here and see the opportunity and want to work with us to get to that next level. If you're one of those people, if you're very interested, you can go to visorpro.ai, hit book a demo, and that'll start the process of getting a call in, or just reach out to me. My email is up here. So is my phone number. I'm happy to talk to anyone who's interested in this thing. You know, I'm very excited for the opportunity, and yeah, I think there's in our audience here, there's going to be a few of you who are pretty interested as well.
For a physics and data guy, you got a lot of emotion in there, I'll tell you. And Nicholas Topping, Nicholas, you asked questions around the uploading process. We do that for you. You want to ask a demo question, we'll do that for you in the demo. And in terms of contract terms, again, that's a pricing discussion, and every one of our dealerships ends up with a slightly different price based on the metrics of the dealer. So to wind up, Brock, if you can stop sharing the screen, I think I'll just wind up by thanking you, Brock, for your wisdom, your knowledge, coming to us from the outside physics data world into agriculture. I can't thank you enough. And last word to you, Wally. I want to thank you for being with us, taking time out of your year end and all the things that you do, and putting yourself in a non-typical Wally Butler situation, which is being in front of a camera. Last word to you.
Well, I appreciate that. And I will just add, I almost felt like a subject matter expert on a front-mounted front boom sprayer there. So I think that's the point. And at the end of the day, I think what we really enjoy about the Visor Pro crew is you guys understand agriculture, you understand what we do, you understand dealership operations, and that matters. So yeah, thank you for what you guys do.
Thanks a lot for your time, Wally. Good luck with the pancakes tomorrow morning. Thanks to Farm Equipment Dealer Magazine and for putting this on with us. And please reach out to visorpro.ai, book a demo with us, and Brock can take it away. Thanks a lot.
Hey, guys.
Thank you, gentlemen. Yes, as Rob said, thank you, everybody from Farm Equipment. Just real quick, today's presentation and audio are going to be available on the website. You can watch our daily email updates and check later on the website for more of that. So thank you again for joining us. Please email us if you have any thoughts about today's event or if you have any topics you want us to cover in the future. Otherwise, thank you, gentlemen, for your time today and for the great discussion. And I hope everyone has a great afternoon.